I like that theme song. Hi, welcome to Pillow Talk with Angela. I'm your host, and I'm so excited tonight because Gail Crowder, Dr. Gail Crowder, has been a member, I should say a family member of Pillow Talk for quite a few years, and she's even participated at one of our live events. So she's all ours tonight. We've got some really important information to get to, so I'm so happy that you're here. Feel free to ask your questions, to comment as much as you want. We do this all for you. But let me just tell you, she has been married for over 31 years. She's an author. Actually, her book, Ladies Keep Your Legs Open, is what brought her to my radar. It's like, oh, maybe we need to bring her on Pillow Talk and see what this is all about. And she's a sexpert. She's a relationship coach, particularly to married couples, men and women, and, probably same sex as well. But she's ours tonight, and we're going to tackle some really important topics. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Gail Crowder. Hi. Hi, lady.
How are you?
I am doing well. It's so good to see you. You look healthy and, unfazed by this whole pandemic. How are you doing?
I am doing well. As far as not being fazed by the pandemic, that is not true because I have lost some people that I loved and knew and worked with. And so that part of it is not true. But as far as me and my household, we are doing well. And thank you so much for asking.
God. Yeah, thank God. Well. I mean, a lot of us, I hadn't lost anyone initially in my family, but when this whole thing started, it's been about a year that we lost Patrick Ellis from WHUR. He was a gospel legend.
Yes.
And that made it so real. Yeah, it's been a year. I mean, oh my God. And recently lost a god sister. That was the closest to my family. I'm from Buffalo, New York. And when my god brother called me with that horrible news, in her 50s, she was very healthy and just a great woman, worked out, had no problems that she knew of, and got COVID. And, the last thing she said to her brother is that she wished that she had gotten vaccinated, and so,
we can't take this for granted. It's real. It doesn't care about your economic status. It doesn't care what color you are, how old you are, how healthy you are. It is real. And like I said, I have lost quite a few people that with a range of age, and you know what I mean? And I had a dancer that danced at my last Bringing Sexy Back to the Marriage, and she was healthy and vibrant and in her 30s. And she lost it, lost to COVID. It has been a tremendous ride for me because it makes you put life into perspective and realize that tomorrow's not promised to you. So you need to reach out and love and mend and do all of those things because again, it's not promised tomorrow.
It is not promised. Yes. I'm so sorry for all of your losses. And you're right. I mean, it's a wake-up call to all of us. We don't know. We do not know. Wallace, welcome. He said he just got vaccinated. Good for you. I am about to celebrate, I think, a month after my second vaccination, the second shot.
I get my second one on May the 10th. So I got my first one and I get my second one on May the 10th. Yes. So where I live it was hard trying to get an appointment, but we got it. So I took myself and my boys. And so we all get our second one on the 10th. So I'm excited.
That's so good. I'm so happy for you. Ward, thank you so much for joining us. So this topic, we're talking about women getting their sexy back. And, you hear a lot of men complaining, men who are married, who say, oh, Wallace, you said you did it for me. Thank you. You know what?
Well, at least you influence him to prolong his life and help protect somebody else. So that's good. That's good stuff.
I'm sure you're just joking, but I am happy to take the credit. Wallace, I'm so happy that you're here. And as I was saying, you in my Pillow Talk conversations, but even not just that, a lot of men say, sex was great before we got married, even early on in the marriage, but I'm lucky if we can have a situation once a month. Yep. And that is unfortunately a very common complaint.
Yes. Married roommates are real.
Married roommates are real. And
Yes.
I hear a lot of, hi, Philip, a lot of, women who I know, family members, they're just not interested in sex anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're not interested. And I'm thinking, really? I'm praying that never happens to me. So, Dr. Gail Crowder, we've come to you. I mean,
well, let me just tell you, that's the reason why I started doing the work that I do. And that was the reason why I wrote the book, Keep Your Legs Open, A Wife's Guide to Understanding Her Sexual Satisfaction, because I was that girl. I had gotten myself in a situation where I had so many things going on in my own personal life, even though I was married, that had become the last thing. We put so many things on our plates. We're mothers, we're nurses, we're employees, employers, we work at our churches, we go to the Little League, we do so many things. And at the end of the day, we have nothing left, right? Yeah. And so we say we're tired that night. And then we rinse and repeat, and it just becomes this thing, right? And so a week will go by, and then 2 weeks will go by, and then 3 weeks will go by. And then eventually you look around and your spouse is saying, what is going on? And why are we not engaging in sex? And number one thing is, I'm tired, or I just don't feel like it, or, okay. You know what I mean? And then it just
here. And who wants that?
Who wants that, right?
Just to shut you up, sex.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. And it's not loving, it's not inviting, and it's not fulfilling on either part, right? And so that's the reason why a lot of women get in this space that they don't want. And I'm just telling you from a personal experience, but there is hope. And then there's outside of the bedroom things that, can hinder you from wanting to have sex, like unforgiveness. Like unforgiveness, like infidelity, right? The lack of trust, right? Financial issues, family issues, with your mom and your dad or their mother or their father or their family issues. There's other things that can hinder you from wanting to engage inside the bedroom. And so many people don't look at that and realize that communication is the break. If you have no communication, that breaks down sex, that breaks down finances, that breaks down trust, it breaks down everything. And so if you don't deal with outside influences, like what I mean outside of the bedroom, it's going to take a toll inside the bedroom. And then there's emotional.
But wait, before you even leave that, and that's so true, and I'm so glad that you brought that up, because women, a lot of it is cerebral. Mm-hmm. If you and I just had an argument and I'm upset with you, we need to make that right for me to really want to have sex. Or if I'm angry, if I'm, all the things that you just mentioned, what a lot of guys don't understand is that, because for them, it's a need. It's a need that's different than us. It's more physical with them, right, than it is for us.
And that's how they really connect with us and show us that they love us. And to a lot of men, that's a big part of romance. Even though romance and sex are two different things, they clump it together a lot of times. Yeah. But we are like, we're like spaghetti, right? And they're like waffles. And that's the reason why they can argue with us, right? Uh-huh. And they put that in the thing. We argued, it's over with. Now let's move on. And we're like spaghetti. If you're telling me I look beautiful and I feel beautiful, if everything's in space, I come home, the house is clean, all of those things are happening. The finances are right. Everything's right. Oh, we're all together. And it's ching ching for you, brother. But
on and popping.
But let one of those meatballs be out of place.
Right. Gail, you're right, though. Right.
No, it's true. It's true.
And no matter how we try, it's hard for us to just compartmentalize. And when it comes to our bodies and wanting to share that, it's spiritual. This is special.
Oh my God. It is spiritual. It's mental, it's physical, it's all of those things wrapped into one. And again, men think so different from us. And it is so hard to get them to see that everything needs to flow for us. And it's not just about the physical, it's about the mental, it's about how we feel internally, externally. It's all of those things that have to come into play to make sure that we're in a space where we want to have sex with you and please you and do all the things that you want us to do in the bedroom.
Yeah. And you were going to say emotional.
Emotional.
The
Oh my God.
emotional.
Emotional is the biggest thing. And a lot of times when it's emotional for us, we could be dealing with unresolved issue, hurt. It could have been something you said, right?
Yeah.
We feel taken for granted because we do wear all of these hats. Not that you don't wear, men don't wear a lot of different hats, but we take on a lot of different things that sometimes we should be delegating, right? And we take them on and we do well at them. So it becomes our job and we are feeling taken for granted. When it comes to the kids, all of those different kind of things. It could be depression that has seeped in. It could be that we're dealing with our own body issues, right? Because as we begin to mature, we begin to change. As we have kids, we've changed. All of those things come into play. And more men need to be more sensitive towards their wives. And that's the reason why I do the work that I do, because a lot of people think I deal a lot with women, which I do. But I have a lot of men who come to me and say, Gail, help me crack the code.
And that's so good.
Help me crack the code.
Yes, I was going to ask you, and thank you. You're so good at what you do. And you've laid out a lot of what women are unable to really communicate to their partner because they don't want to, they don't want it to be a fight and for them to just say what it is. He might not get it. So the men who come to you and say, Gail, this is my sweetheart. I have these needs. I don't want to go outside of my marriage. However, something's going to happen. I'm afraid something's going to happen one way or the other. So how do I approach her? What do I do?
The first thing is that it starts with a conversation, not starting with touching you, always trying to lead to sex. Sometimes we just need a hug. Sometimes we just need a shoulder to lay on that's not always trying to get in my pants, right? But again, most men are going to want to cuddle in order for it to lead to sex. But sometimes just be her partner just so she can have a place to lay her head or have a shoulder to lay on, or just grab her and just hug her and tell her how important she is. That is the most, most important things that you can do for your woman just on a regular basis, whether you're married or just in a committed relationship. Sometimes we just want a hug, not a hug for you to rub up on me to lead me to sex, right? If you do it enough and you do it right, it can lead to sex, right? But again, it's all about pillow talk outside of the bedroom to get what you need inside of the bedroom. And I tell men to start there, start romancing her again, because a lot of times we feel taken for granted. It's the small things like opening the car door or saying, I got the laundry tonight, or this week, or saying, you know what, don't cook, I'm bringing home takeout. All of those little things, even though they seem small, lead to big things and open up a space for us to say, okay, I can fit this in tonight. I can do this. I can prepare for this,
Yeah. Oh, Gail, this is such good information because it doesn't just work for people who have been married 2-3 years. People who have been married 20 years and you feel like we've been there, we've done that. Start fresh. Date your spouse. Yep. And women, we're hardwired differently. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We want to feel protected by our man at every point in the relationship, at every point.
We want to feel beautiful. We want to feel love. We want to see romance. And as you know, we have to go back to our childhoods as girls. We see the man coming to save us on the white
the fairy tale.
The fairy tale. All of that is how we were wired, right? And men was wired to go out and conquer and be tough and do all of those things, right? And that when you get in a relationship, those two things have to come together, right? Women need to learn to respect their men and build them up and tell them they can do all of those things, because that
Yes.
is also being romantic and making them feel like they're the head of the household as well. So we have to play a part in this as well to be able to make magic in the bedroom. He has to feel that you are, that he lays it down in the bedroom. And again, a lot of times, and I wrote the book, Keep Your Legs Open, because I kept saying that I wasn't being pleased sexually in the bedroom. Not that my husband was not good, but I didn't even know what I wanted. I didn't know
so
how
there's where you start.
There you have to start with your needs, your wants, and your desires. You have to be your GPS system. And a lot of times we don't know what we want in the bedroom, so we don't get what we want, and we can't articulate it to our partners.
Right.
So therefore they're stuck. And they're only doing what they think that you want them to do.
And that's it, just to that point right there, the articulation, and that goes both ways. That is a very important place to communicate your sex life.
Yeah.
And there's a way to do it. I mean, nobody wants to be criticized in the middle of making love to your partner.
Nobody.
However, nobody. So let's talk about that for a moment. What are some of the things that
never ever have
in the
conversation in the act of making love? Don't do it. That's the reason why you should date your spouse or your significant other on a regular basis. I date Gail every single Friday, no matter where I am in the world. If we have to Zoom, we will Zoom. We will go to the same restaurant in 2 different cities, because I date my husband and I'm his girlfriend on Fridays, every single Friday.
Oh, I love that.
I've been married. I'll be married 33 years, July the 20th, right? So
wow.
I've been married most of my life, right? We got married at 21 and 22, so you can do the math how old I am. I'm in my 50s. And so it is important for me to date my spouse. But I had lost all of this. And that's the reason why, again, I do the work that I do, because I understand what it is to not feel sexy. I understand what it is to be battling with my own self-esteem. I understand what it feels like to saying, oh, kiss me right. No, don't kiss me. Oh, why are you smelling? Like, all of those things. And
a disconnect, like, total disconnect.
What do you want? And I couldn't say it because I didn't know what I wanted.
So how do women find that out?
You have to start dating. And the reason why I say start dating and start exploring, what I tell most couples when they're in this situation, start with a massage that does not lead to sex. And you ask your partner to start from the top of your head and go all the way to your feet. And every time he touches you and you get that feeling, you say, that's point number 1. That's why that's point number 1.
Yes.
And if he goes right here and that feels good, say that's point number 2. I guarantee you, when you become the roadmap to your pleasure and he understands your erogenous zones, not somebody else's.
Right. Because we're all different.
Yeah, we're all different. I can guarantee you that it's not going to be so hard because he has explored your full entire body. And I say do that for him as well. Not something that leads to sex, right? And so when you're dating and you're out on your date and you be like, remember right here, tonight you can do that, right?
You can do that.
That starts.
Ooh, that's so good.
Right?
And you know what else? What I love? I love that. I mean, how sexy is that your partner becomes the person who knows what you like more than anybody else on this planet. Yep. So instead of you two getting tired of each other, you're getting closer together.
Absolutely, because physical touch takes away so many different things. And that's why I tell a lot of couples to start exploring on your spouse's or your significant other's body. And when I say don't let it lead to sex, because those sensations that you get is going to be amazing. And you're going to want to start exploring those things time after time after time. And you don't have to do them all at one time.
Yeah.
You don't have to do them all at one time.
Spread it out. Carl says on point. And I'm loving your comments, by the way. Thank you all for commenting.
Thank you.
One of the other things that you mentioned, physical. Sometimes women are for various reasons, hormonal. Some women, and everybody's body is different. Many women have said that they are not as, it hurts. You know, having sex could physically hurt them.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you tell them?
It's a couple of things that you need to do. If you are a woman that is experiencing painful sex, you definitely need to go visit your physician, your GYN. It is the most important thing that you can do for yourself, because sex should not be painful. It should be pleasurable. But there's a couple of things that you can do if you're still in that situation where you're a little afraid to go visit your, physician now because of COVID and, all those different kind of things. First of all, invest in an amazing lube. That's the first thing. Invest in an amazing lube. And there's some really good ones on the market. I don't get paid for talking about any of these, but let me give you a couple. The first one is Just Like Me. It's by Pure Romance. It is absolutely amazing. You can put it on, it can dry up, and as soon as you have physical contact, it will wet up again. That is one of the most...
Wow, that's unusual.
It's a really good one. The next thing is, if you're dealing with any kind of, low libido, and it's the first FDA approved female sexual enhancement. It's sort of like a Viagra for a woman. It's called Zestra, and you can get that over the counter or on Amazon. It's Zestra. It is amazing. It is a lube. It brings blood flow to the vagina. It does a lot of different things for you. Okay?
Wow. And you don't need a prescription.
You don't need a prescription, right? So try those two things. They have amazing things. And if you want, you can put them in. You can put them in the chat if you want. Yeah. But if you're dealing with low libido, there's some other things that you can introduce into your diet. That's very simple, like figs, avocados, bananas. All of those things can help you with your libido if you're a woman and you have a low libido. If you start introducing those things into your diet, you should see a change as well. And also, I want to say one last thing is try a position pillow. Position pillows are really, really good because it helps you get into a certain sex positions, and it takes the weight off of you trying to hold it, especially if you have a weak core. And it will help you. And also tilting your pelvic in different positions can also help with pain.
Now, position pillow, do you just go to the store and ask for a position pillow, or just use a pillow?
No, you can use a regular pillow, but I suggest a position pillow because they're more sturdier and they don't collapse. But they make some that blow up. They also make some that are not, but you can go to Amazon or Adam and Eve, those kind of things. Bedroom Candy, Pure Romance have those position pillows, and they're not expensive. And I'm telling you, it'll help change your life as well.
I love that. And that's what it's called, position pillow.
Position pillow.
See, you learn something every day here on Pillow Talk with Angela.
There you go.
There you go.
For the right position.
Position for the right position. And, for women who are experiencing pain, or maybe you've just not had sex in a long time and you're a little afraid, to get it, started again. But, this is for single women who might not be married.
But I will tell you, invest in a really good lube. I know you can go to the drugstores and get some, but you have to be very careful about some of the stuff that they put in those products and stuff. And yes, they're less expensive, but they could, cause you some, problems down there. So I always suggested you go more with a water-based kind of lube, unless you're going to introduce toys and stuff like that. That's a whole different conversation. But I would say stick with a water-based lube because that's the closest to your body, what your body naturally creates, and then work from there.
We'll bring you back for the toys conversation.
Okay, we can do that.
We can definitely do that. I think we did that when we had you on Pillow Talk a couple of years ago. That is something that, sometimes, I guess depending on who you're talking to.
But
spice it up.
Yes, it spices up thing. But it's a way to introduce toys to not make your partner feel like you're replacing them or they don't please you sexually. So it's a conversation that you have to have outside of the bedroom as well.
Yeah, because that's true. Before you just whip out the toys.
Whip it out, right. And, that was another reason why I became an instructor, years ago for bedroom candy. I don't do that anymore, but they was, teaching the women to sell, but not how to introduce. And it can really hinder or make your partner feel a certain way if you have never introduced something and you didn't have a conversation. So,
right.
I would love to have a conversation about that as well.
Yeah, you definitely need to have that conversation. But yeah, let's talk all about how you can approach it, and what to do if your partner's not into it. Then okay, just use the toys yourself. You don't have to use it with your partner.
And that's a good way to explore your body and figure out what you want, desire, and like as well, right? So self-exploring is a good thing too. But if you can do that along with your partner, it brings a lot of excitement. It brings some spice, and also you learn new things about each other as well. And you learn stuff about yourself that you didn't know either. So it's
exactly. And I think it doesn't have to be all serious. I mean, you can have fun in the bedroom or wherever you're having sex. It doesn't even have to be in the bedroom.
Yeah, I say spice it up sometimes. Quit, just using the same exact place all the time, because it's like going to the same restaurant all the time. Spice some things up. Do something different. If you want something different, you have to put a different something in the bedroom. So I say explore, try something new, try a new position. There's 66 different sex positions, right? I wrote an ebook called Position for Pleasure. But anyway, you can make sure that you try each one of those positions and figure out which one is the best one for you guys. It's just something new, something that's not boring, and something you're learning together.
And it's not for everybody. Kendall is writing no toys. He's like, you're bringing the toys in. It's going to be a disconnect. Just us. Okay, I got you.
And I understand that. And like I said, that's not for everybody, but you must have those conversations. And like you said, we'll have that at a different
We'll have that at a different time. And there's no shame in if you choose to do it. And there's no shame in if you choose not to. It's like there are choices, there are options. Carl said, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
It is.
Oh, yeah, you're right, Kendall. There's a difference between the two.
Yes,
exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
And, depending on the situation, you do what you do. Kendall, got to decide what you want. It's real, Dr. Gail. Sounds like you want to have a good sex party.
No,
I didn't quite get that. I didn't get that from what you said.
I know, not at all. I don't want people to have sex parties or whatever. I want people to enjoy sex, because there's a lot of benefits for sex. It lowers stress, right?
Yeah.
It is a way to connect on a deeper level with the person that you love. So sex is good. I'm not saying be frivolous with it, because this is your body. Yeah. This is a temple, and you should be able to take care of it, right? But it is pleasurable. It is a release, and it is something that you should be doing if you are in a committed relationship and you're in love.
Exactly. And it's something to do for your significant other and for yourself. It's something to do for your relationship, especially if you're married. Yes. And so this whole conversation is about, just taking the shame out of talking about sex. It's such an important part of our healthy lives. And there's a way to have this discussion. And this is what we're doing. It's, in a very healthy way, just saying, if it's, problematic, if your significant other is not enjoying sex anymore, be it the man or the woman, because women aren't the only ones who have problems. But it's worth having a conversation and seeking the knowledge of, okay, baby, I love you. We're not going anywhere. But what can we do to fix this? That's what this is all about.
And that is being in a committed relationship, and not just in the sex part, but if you're having problems with communication or anything, always try to strive to fix it and to make things better, and to always do it in a loving way, right?
In a loving way.
That's the most important thing. Do it in a loving way. And if you're having difficulties when it comes to having sex, have a conversation with your spouse. Just don't pull away and just avoid it, right? Because it's necessary. You have to have a conversation and say, listen, I'm struggling here. I'm struggling with my body. I'm struggling because it's just not pleasurable. I probably need to go see the doctor, or it's painful for me right now. Have a conversation, and that person can understand where you are a little bit more if you have a conversation.
And I'm so glad we're having this conversation because, Kendall, I'm not sure you're really grasping everything that Gail is saying, because Kendall writes, sex party, meaning you want to have a good time and ignore the soul. No, that's not at all what she's suggesting. She's saying enjoying this process with your soulmate, with your partner, bringing in the soul. I believe having sex with the person you love, especially, if this is your spouse, this is the person you love, and you want to express this love and share this love. That is not ignoring the soul. That is embracing it. And that is two of you joining each other at the highest possible realm.
And giving
am I wrong?
of yourself. Not only you're giving,
not only your body, but everything. You're sharing everything.
Yeah.
So Ward is really into the walking around naked. This is his second reference. Walking around naked. I'm saying, do you? If you want to walk around naked, if you live alone, if you live with your sweetheart, if she's good with it, do it.
I listen here. If that's what you. I do tell people, don't, even though we were in COVID and when we was in lockdown, I would tell my people, get up and put on clothes, right? Because men are very visual, right? And you want to look visually pleasing, even if you're working from home. Don't just always go to the baggy clothes and those kind of things. So get up and put on some clothes as if you're not saying you have to dress to the nines, but put on clothes because you're there with your spouse. He is visual, and make sure that you're visually pleasing to him, on a regular basis. So even though I've been working from home for 15 years, I get up and I get dressed every single day. Unless I'm sick or something like that, but it's important. It's important for how we feel about ourselves and how our spouse relates to us when they get back, or how, they relate to us on a regular basis, because they're inundated all the time by media. Right. And we know about media. They can make me look, like a totally different person, with the right makeup artist and all that kind of stuff. So it's not real. With filters and all those kind of things. So they're inundated all the time. So you want to make sure that you keep yourself pleasing as well.
Well, and also, and Kendall. Yeah, well, good. Kendall is listening. I like what you said before too, that you're always going to be your husband's girlfriend, and he's always going to be your boyfriend. For me, I'm not married. I do aspire to that one day. I've been engaged a couple times. Glad I didn't pursue the route of marriage. That was not my person.
The right one is probably already in your life and you just don't know it.
I do believe it, and I might even know it.
Okay.
So we'll keep you posted.
Okay, please keep me posted.
I will keep you posted. However, I love what you're saying by, always being each other's boyfriend and girlfriend. And that means taking a minute to try to look cute for your mate. And this isn't just the women. Guys, you don't have to, put your suit on to walk around the house, but do a little something. Do a little something.
Do a little something. And like I said, when I go out on my date with my husband, I dress up, I look cute, I look sexy, whatever, he's like, oh, could you put on a skirt? I'll put on, you know what I mean? Because again, I've been at this a long, long time. And we was taking each other for granted. Every marriage has, and every relationship has this roller coaster ride. But, we made a decision. We don't have a plan B. So we don't have a plan B or plan C. So we got to make this work. So I got to be his girlfriend. He's got to be my boyfriend. So the same things that he did to get me and the same things I did to get him are the same things he needs to do to keep me. Right.
Yes.
And so therefore, it's the small things that we implement, and it doesn't have to be big. Right. My husband knows that I absolutely love M&Ms with peanuts. Right.
Oh, I do too. Oh my gosh. Yes. That's my girl right there.
Look, I got in my car the other day, and it was a thing of M&Ms with peanuts with a sticker that says, "I'm nuts about you." Right.
Oh,
that made my day. Just something sweet and small. That, what did it cost him $1 or whatever? But those are the things that he used to do when we were dating, right?
Yes, that goes a long way.
You can't take each other for granted, right? And then like the other day I did this treasure pleasure hunt, right? And I led him, to a hotel. But those are the kind of things that we do and we continue to do. And during COVID, we used to have dinner under the stars. And what we would do is go open the trunk of my truck and we would and, you know, I have a panoramic roof in my thing, and we would go do takeout, sit back, lean back on our pillows, and watch. Just do stuff like that because you can't take each other for granted.
You just cannot. And I hope the couples who are listening or the potential couples are just really taking notes, because these are little things. It's not going to cost you anything. You don't have to spend a fortune on your mate for them to really get you and see you and to just fall in love with you over and over again.
Yes.
I love this. I love this conversation. Wait a minute, Kendall again. Wait a minute. Are you calling your husband your boyfriend?
Yes.
That's interesting, but it's not real. Why not your husband? Okay, so Kendall, again, I think the point of what she was saying is not that he's the boyfriend by a demotion in any way, but it's cute and it's sexy and it's fun when you two are courting. The point that Dr. Crowder is making is the fun and the effort that you both put into it when you were dating and when it was your boyfriend and girlfriend. Keep that same energy when you're married. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Keep that same energy, not any less of respect and, you know, the role of spouse. That's as high as we can get as humans in a relationship. So in that relationship as a spouse, treat them with fun and all this stuff, just as Gail said, the things that you did to get him or her, do those things to keep them and to keep them interested. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I hope you get that. I hope you all get that. This is going to live on my Facebook page, on my YouTube channel. And we're going to have Dr. Gail Crowder back again. Such a wonderful conversation. I love this.
Thank you. I appreciate
you so much. And before we say goodbye to you, I need you to shout out your books, which I'm such a fan of. And, I don't say that lightly. I mean, all these gems that she's dropping here, you could find it in her books, and follow her on social media as well. So if you can give us all that information.
Well, all of my books you can find on my website. My website is just my name, gailcrowder.com. And my book that we were talking about was, Keep Your Legs Open, A Wife's Guide to Understanding Sexual Satisfaction. And then I have another book that I wrote for wives if they're dealing with a spouse that's pulling away and not really wanting to engage in sex. It could be that he's in male menopause. So I wrote a book called Praying for the Penis. And it really is a guide for a woman to understand a male's sexual health and that they do all have menopause just like we do, and how to help them with that and how to deal with that.
Didn't know that either.
I wrote that along with a urologist because I had so many women saying my husband is not wanting to engage. And when they're dealing with erectile dysfunction and stuff like that, and every man between the ages of 16 until they go into glory will deal with some type of erectile dysfunction because they do have hormonal drops as well. So I wrote that book in order for a woman to understand their sexual health, right? And how to help them and deal with them and get them to the doctor, because that's something else that's hard. But I have a lot of ebooks on my website as well for women who are dealing with low libidos. I have women who are in menopause, how to, boost your libido during menopause. I have all kind of resources because I really want people to win in every area of their life, and especially when it comes to having healthy sex lives. And so you can reach me on all my social media platforms, just Gail Crowder as well. I try to keep it easy. And thank you so much for having me.
You are the best. You are awesome. Can't wait for you to join us again. Thank you so much, Gail.
Thank you.
What a great conversation. That is Dr. Gail Crowder. I'm so happy for the people who joined us and took the time to comment. Don't worry, this is going to live on our Facebook page. But more importantly, I hope you subscribe to me on YouTube. This Angela's Dribbling on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button. And we're going to present this again on WHUR FM, #1 music station in the DMV. So that's going to be Sunday night right after Manzi Pullen and the Original Quiet Storm. And that is Pillow Talk with Angela. Thanks again for joining us. You are everything. Have a good one. Oh, wait a minute. I got to tell you how to hit me up on social media at Angela Stribling on all platforms. Thanks.